afternoon, everyone. On your programme, you've probably seen my colleague called Leanne, but unfortunately couldn't join us today, so I kind of stepped in yesterday to help her along. I saw the programme and I was like, wow, what an inspirational day. And I didn't know what I will face. And then I joined this morning and I was bowled over by the inspirational space, the honest conversations, and the resilience quite a lot of our speakers had this morning. So it was so empowering to think about how you navigate life when you've had an impact to your life along the way. And it's so inspiring that there is still adaptations that you can make to find that fulfilling life to it as well. And as a society, we should be more educated around this space to allow the accessibility for everyone to be able to live a fulfilled life in their journey direction that they want to do. So I'm pretty honoured to be here and to speak to you for a few minutes just to explain what the Prince's Trust does. So people in the room might be aware of the Prince's Trust. It was founded by now our King, but Prince Charles, in 1979, and it was given an opportunity for young people to take the next step and an opportunity to survive, to move forward in life. That probably wasn't so fortunate within life. So I don't like to use the word disadvantaged because people are not disadvantaged. They just have various different directions in life that they go. But it's working with that particular group of young people that really need our support and how can we support them to get to that positive outcome that they want. I'm probably going to just talk to you for a few minutes around probably 2 opportunities or 3 opportunities that the Trust really work upon to kind of give young people. And when I mean young people, that is 16 to 30, so it's quite a wide range that we support, and across the whole of the UK. So we are really focused around metropolitan cities around the UK, but we also have an element of remote work as well and smaller communities to give that opportunity to young people. We normally work within young people that are not in education, training, or employment, but we can also support young people that have working less than 16 hours, looking back into education, wanting to get into volunteering because they're not at that stage yet to get that employment opportunities to move forward with their lives. So in terms of our pre-employment, we have really strong programs. We work in a program-led approach. So we have opportunities throughout the year. So we're not like education. We have rolling programs that young people can access. We have a thing called Get Into, and Get Into is our pre-employment program. It gives you a sense of an opportunity to gain experience, to give the experience within that particular industry or sector that you want to get into. So Linda explains that her daughter was part of a retail program with Marks and Spencer's, so Get Into retail. A lot of young people want a first opportunity to build them skills, show that experience, which a lot of young people don't have the experience to do it. And moving forward, an opportunity to say, I can gain some experience and gain employment, maybe for a short period or a long period of time, really empowers someone to move forward. Sectors that we really work in at the moment, as a trust, we work within retail, transportation. Another area that is really growing for young people and accessible for everyone is tech and digital. It's a growing sector that should be really honed on. So if you've got like skills within that area and you're thinking, how do I break into that barrier? It's quite difficult to do that. It's quite niche, but it's also so accessible about the skill sets of how maybe brain injury has caused your brain to work in a different pattern and a different process. That is really key, and the industry is requiring that kind of skill set. So tech and digital. Music is a key one, and obviously we met a survivor this morning on looking at music and how music makes that impact, which is really positive. Another area that we do work within is health and social care. Working within a hospital environment, various different roles within that, not just from a clinical point of view, but also from an administrational point of view or support point of view. And with so many people within the room that have gone through that lived experience and have seen the environments, There's so much value to lived experience within that sector that can definitely be transferred back into employment within the sector that you're probably fully aware of and experience as a patient, and ongoing as well. And another sector that we do really focus on and looking at the moment is green economy and looking at sustainability. And it's about, sustainability is really big within our industry, and it's going to grow, it's going to make more jobs and more opportunities. And they're really looking at a really diverse community and diverse thought pattern into them jobs. So there's really strong growing sectors across the whole of the UK where there's opportunities of new jobs, and the skill gap is changing constantly. So these industries are really kind of starting to grow where young people can go into these sectors. Some of it doesn't need a degree. Some jobs don't need you to have formal education. There's entries into these industries you can do in your own way by self-learning, by using lived experience, by taking on a traineeship or apprenticeship within an employer. So don't think if you've missed elements of education and you feel that you can't sustain education, that does not mean that you can't be accessible for these industries. One area that we also work with as a charity is offering grants. So if you have an education outcome, an opportunity, a volunteering outcome, employment outcome, but there's a barrier. There's a barrier of income. How do I get there? What do I do? How do I get through the first month? I don't have appropriate clothing, or I need a passport or some ID that I just don't able to afford to prove that I can work in the UK. The Trust can support with the grant system. It's called a development award. So you come with the outcome, and the Trust will then support you along the way to access funding and amount from ourselves to support you. That could be up to £500, and you can access that fund up to twice per year to access that fund. So if you've got that outcome and it's sustained, we can't support with living costs, we can't support with ongoing costs, but if it's one point to access that outcome, we're here as an organisation to help bridge that gap for you. The other one that we're probably most famous for is Startup, a business, Explore Enterprise. And I was talking to a colleague on the panel, and he just mentioned to me, my son was connected, had a mentor and access to funds to start his business. And I have that constantly all the way through day to day when I speak to people, the reach that we have and the impact. So we do start with business startup. We help people from the ages 18 to 30 to explore a business idea and give them the first step into it. So if you're thinking employment is not right for me, I don't have the flexibility, I have to work around my own hours, I have to be work within terms of my disability or how I work with my own kind of adaptations to life. Self-employment may be a key to take them steps forward to get a really valuable, empowered sense of community and feel that you can add value back to the society. And finally, I'm just going to finish with key points around employers. Within our work, working with survivors of any disability or ongoing adaptations to life, employers don't always know what to do in this space, don't know how to always adapt, probably a bit worried. How do I find that adaptation for that person? How do I be flexible around that? I'd just like to emphasise there is a reasonable adjustments in access to work, and the employee should be working with you on the skill set that you can offer the organisation and that business. And we do a lot of work within this place with the Prince's Trust to support and bridge that gap, working with employers that we're working with to say, there is going to be barriers there, but look at the strengths, look at the mindset these people will come with and strengthen your business. They offer flexible hours, part-time hours, volunteering hours. They'll give you training on the job, and they understand the barriers that you might have. When you're entering into employment, I feel you get a sense of empowerment, confidence, direction. The experience to say back in another interview, later on in your life, I did this, I achieved this. And achieving something, I feel, is the most empowering thing to say, this is me, and I can do this, and this is how I get here. So as I finish today, I would just want to say you're inspirational. Even if you are a survivor, if you're connected to a survivor, or you are a medical profession within this community, be you, be proud of who you are, and go in front of an employer to take into employment and say, this is the strengths, this is what I can give, this is my lived experience. And don't be downhearted that you don't come as a person that is fully equipped with everything, because life gives us different directions and an employer is not looking for a perfect situation. So thank you so much for your time. I'm more than happy to answer questions if you've got any answers, or I've got a few marketing that I can also leave as well. We're a national organisation. We have a 0800 number. You can go to our website to access what support we have on at the moment, but we have opportunities throughout the year, different things coming up. So please make contact with us if you feel that it will be beneficial. Thank you.
Will you be here over lunch?
I can be, yeah.
Right.
All right. Thank you.